visa interview. Before the visa interview, there are series of steps. The first step is to apply to schools. To apply, you must identify schools with funding, and you must be applying during the right application season, especially as an international student. You cannot just wake up and say, hey, I want to apply now. This is the time to apply. No, you can apply at any time. You must apply either during the fall or during the spring. Fall is August, September, as against the following year, and it can be as against January of the following year, or November, December as against January, as against August, September of the following year, or March, around March of the following year, depending really. So some schools operate the August September season for international students. Some schools operate the November December or January, the November December or August September. These are the periods you should actually target. One of our scholars who just recently got fully funded, guess what? Targeted applying to the University of Alabama around what time of the year. He started working on his application November last year. He got an application fee waiver, and today he is coming to study here. Now, I'm not saying that that was the only school he applied to, and that is the mistake a lot of people make. They apply to one school and then they believe that if I apply to one school, then I should be given admission. That one school is all I need. Excuse me. You're not supposed to apply to one school. You need to apply to several schools. So I hope that you've gotten my points. I need you to let me know in the comment section whether this is making sense, or what point have you taken note from what I've said so far. So I have said that to get to the point where you're being scheduled for a Zoom interview with schools, you must have applied. And applying means you must identify schools. Identifying means you must also apply, and you must apply to several schools. You must also apply at a time that lots of schools you know are taking application for the program that you're aiming for. Now, after you've been admitted, you've gotten admission, some schools want you to show them thank you, ma'am. Thank you for following. Thank you if you're following. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So some schools want you to show that before they actually admit you, they want to know whether you are worth putting every penny on. They are going to be paying your school fees or tuition fee. They would also pay you monthly stipend for performing certain tasks in the department or for doing certain things. But before they can do that, they need to see that you need to demonstrate that you are worth putting money on. It's just like somebody who wants to invest in you. You need to show and prove to them. And the way through which schools are actually able to consider or evaluate a candidate is to schedule a Zoom meeting with them. So on this Zoom meeting, what happens? One is what should you do if you have a Zoom meeting? Two things you must bear in mind. One, you're going to be attending to the needs of the interviewer, and you also need to attend to your own needs. What are the needs of the person interviewing you on Zoom? They want to get to know you more. They want to also ask questions about your research interest and actually get to hear it from your mouth. You may have written it beautifully. You may have written it because you got a coach. But that's why as a coach, I always emphasize that people are involved in the process. Because there's a difference between you saying, you know what, go work it out for me, coach. I don't need to be there. Just let me know when the admission decision has been given or admission offer has been given. It does not work that way. It is a process you need to be carried in. Somebody should say it does not work that way. I want you to say that in the chat box. It doesn't work that way. How does it work? You need to be involved. Even if you're working with a coach, say, I need to be involved. Say it loud and clear. Say it, I need to be involved. So your involvement here is what they want to see, how if you've actually been involved in the whole process. And it will be easy for you to speak confidently about your research interest if you know what you want to apply for. And that is why in one of my videos on the YouTube on our YouTube channel here, I've talked about how to actually crafts an application story, and that is one of the topics I will be covering very briefly in the study abroad challenge that is coming up. And in this challenge I will be talking a lot about coming up with an application story and the difference that your application story makes in the entire studying abroad journey. That is very critical because everything would revolve around that. Everything would revolve around application story as you're applying to schools, as you're talking to graduate advisors, as you're going for your visa interview. Everything would revolve around application story. Somebody should say application story. Application story. Type it in the chat box, say application story. Type application story in the comment box. It is so important. So what the person interviewing you wants to see is how convinced or how clear you are about your interests. And they will ask you some personal questions about what you're expecting in their program and why you've chosen their program. And this you can easily answer. It's just a cut and paste response. If you study what is available on their websites about their program, about the potential advisors or the different research interests, and those you intend to work with, right? What did I say? It is a cut and paste response based on what is available on the school's website. I repeat, cut and paste response. It is cut and paste. Just go there, copy, paste it verbally. Internalize, of course, and then you verbally express. Lastly, the second and also the most crucial part would be your own needs. You need to talk about your needs. You need to ask them questions about funding. How much are they giving you? Like, let them give you the figure. You want to hear it. Now, if they've sent you an offer letter already, they will not be having a Zoom meeting with you. Perhaps they might have a meeting with you after they have given you the offer, maybe just to um, put you through some things about registering for courses, you know, how to actually settle in, you know, those are the things that they may want to get to do with you, if of course you have been given admission and funding and then there's a Zoom meeting. But most of the times, right, the Zoom meeting comes up when the school or department is about to make a decision about your candidacy, funding, and all of that. So, talking about your need is very important. Don't get all excited. Don't be shy. Ask questions. Ask questions about what am I getting? What are you giving me? Like, not don't say it the way I'm saying it though. Don't go there and say, so how much are you people giving me? You would ask this way. How do you craft that statement? Thank you so much for meeting with me today, dear doctor. So. I have a couple of questions that I want to ask. If you do not mind, can I go ahead and ask those questions? Yes, please go ahead. So my first question would be, how much does this assistantship position, how much is it worth? Because you know already that they are paying your tuition. So don't worry about how much the school fees is going to be. But your concern is how much is the assistantship position worth? Let them tell you the figure in dollars, right? And then when they tell you the figure, then you know what you want to hear. And then ask them if the department has other internal awards for students who do exceptionally well